crisis. So you put all these things together, add to it the fact that Mr. Mitsotakis somehow managed to alienate even the entrepreneurial classes as well as the middle class, and you have an explanation of the significant decline.
But what about PASOK's economic policies, and what will they do? Will they go back to, as Mitsotakis said, big spending and high taxing?
Well, that remains to be seen, of course, but if we look at the actual figures and compare 1993 to 1989, regardless of what the journalistic conventional wisdom was, the size of the public sector, for instance, has hardly shrunk since Mr. Mitsotakis came to power. We have, in terms of the number of bodies working for the public sector, more people now in the public sector in Greece than we had in '89. We have a much higher deficit than we had in '89, and a great deal of pain in terms of a reduction in living standards.
But how will PASOK...
So the austerity didn't actually have any tangible, visible impact, and therefore you can't justify the pain by means of pointing out to the gain.
Right, well then, how will PASOK's policies differ? I mean, what will they do differently?
Well, that is the main headache that Papandreou has. The financial difficulties in Greece have to be traced back to a very frail model of development in the 1960s. Ever since the international economy started trembling in the beginning of the 1970s, Greece entered a very long decline. The question is, what can any government do in order to stop and reverse that decline, while at the same time it's not suffering a tremendous political cost?
Do you think PASOK got in because the Conservatives split?
To a very large extent, that is true. But even if you look at the vote of the conservative parties added together, there is still something in the order of a 5% swing away from the bloc of right to the bloc of left, which would still be enough to push PASOK over the line.
Yes. The other thing that really interests me is that you had two leaders, 75 years of age, head to head. Where's the new generation of leaders on left and right?
It is waiting in the wings. And there is the conventional belief in Greece that all we have to do is just wait for these people to pass away, and then a generation of young people with new ideas is going to emerge. I happen to be a conservative. I happen to be of the view that we would not necessarily see a greater vision by the younger generation. If you look very closely at the younger generation in all parties, the communists, the socialists, and the right wing, I don't think you see an enormous amount of talent there.
So will Papandreou get it right this time, do you think?
It depends on your definition of right, Paul.
Well, will he do better than he did last time?
Well, I'm sure that most people believe, at least the majority of the electorate in Greece, believe that he's going to handle the social justice issues a lot better than New Democracy did. They also believe that he's not going to arbitrarily transfer assets, state assets, in the way that Mitsotakis did. Whether they actually believe, and whether I believe, that the terminal decline that started in the 1970s, as I pointed out earlier, is going to be reversed, that's another matter. I think that all the signs are rather pessimistic on that front.
Okay. Dr. Varoufakis, thanks very much indeed for coming on to Dateline tonight.
Thank you.